Hello, everyone. I'm Catherine Biroy, your personal growth and business coach, and I have just one mission to help you do what you love and make your dream business flourish. Therefore, I'm bringing experts to talk with them about different subjects which can help you in your life and in your business. Today, I'm very honored to have one of my dearest friends with me. Nicole is a mother of two children, one 30 years old neurotypical son and one 11 years old daughter with a rare genetic disease. And this is what Nicole said. Parenting a child who is severely intellectually delayed and nonverbal is very challenging. But it is all that I have known as a mother to Summer, because I saw myself going down a road that would end in me crashing. I knew that I had to do something. And since there aren't any doctors specializing in supporting parent caregivers, I knew I was on my own to figure out how to best support myself mentally and psychically so I could best support and care for my whole family. This is the moment when my love affair with self-care began. Selfish is what I used to call myself when I took time for me, which was time away from my family. I soon realized that this was negative self-talk and that I needed to change this. I knew enough that I had to start making changes in order to get different results. After years of working with energy coaches, personal development coaches, reading, etc., I've noticed a huge shift in the way that I was feeling and a huge improvement in my parenting abilities. I work with parents of children with special needs who feel overwhelmed and at the end of their rope. My clients come to me because they feel overwhelmed and stressed to the maximum. I then move from feeling overwhelmed and exhausted to feeling in control and more energized so that they can live with joy in their life. Welcome, Nicole.
Oh, thank you.
I am very, very honored to have you here because this is very sensitive topic, and actually, I don't think we're talking enough about this, and I would like to introduce my audience with this topic and to help them with your expertise if they need any kind of help. So, tell me, how long have you been a caregiver?
I've been a caregiver for 11 years.
Oh, wow. Self-care is very trendy at the moment. So what exactly differentiates you from all other caregivers?
Yes. Well, I think first of all that I do focus on caregivers, and those are people who are parents of children with special needs, and it's evolved to include people who are caring for partners, sick partners, or adults who are caring for aging parents. And it's a very unique perspective.
Mhm.
It's breaking down what we're seeing in the media right now about self-care, about, pedicures and spa trips and getting away, to really emphasizing that caregivers need to look at how they live every day in the confines
Mhm.
of their home and how
Mhm.
they can do small activities more consistently to help them stay healthy.
You know, I'm an empath, and when we talk about sensitive subjects like this, I feel that in my heart, and that's even more, important for me to get this message out. So tell me, please, why do you believe that self-care is hard for caregivers?
Self-care is so challenging for caregivers because of the we believe that we need to be focused so much on the people we're taking care of. And in my example, it's my daughter. She needs so much attention. She needs so much help in doing daily tasks. And so that becomes very quickly part of our identity and who we are. And we may not realize it at first, because in the beginning, I was in shock. I was in survival mode. I was just, oh, this was unexpected. okay, what does my daughter need and how can I be the best parent for her? But if you do that for a couple years, it's then harder to step back to say, oh, I need to actually start taking time for myself, because that's time away from your family. That's time away from those loved ones. So there's guilt associated with that. Um, and it's a change in routine. So it could be, oh, what do you mean you're leaving? Or what do you mean you're going? What do you mean you're going to the gym now? I wanted to play, or something like that. And I also think, just largely as a society, the majority of caregivers whom I work with are women. And there's a huge emphasis, I think, on the female caregivers to really take care of everybody. And as you know, we go into 2020. It's a whole new decade, and part of that is moving away from self-care aren't large things. I define self-care as any activity that brings you joy. So that can be simple. That could be 15 minutes at home. There are some caregivers who can't leave their house. So what I try to work with them to outline, what's something you can do at home for 15 minutes, maybe before your child wakes up or after they've gone to bed, that's just about you. And it's really helping that caregiver rediscover that they're a person first.
Yes, yes. Self-care is extremely important. As a mom of a 3-year-old boy, who is healthy, thank God, but so, he needs so much attention. He needs so much time. And I have 2 businesses, and I'm trying to do everything. And I know that I'm stepping in the role of taking care of him first, and then myself. So I can only imagine how it is for caregivers who need, but I wish that they understand what you're saying, that they are the person first. Like in plane, when they explain to us, first you need to have mask and then put mask to your baby, right?
Yes.
Because your baby depends on you and you need to take care of yourself. What's the biggest lesson that you have learned as being a caregiver?
For me, the biggest lesson is how important my voice is. So before I had Summer, I was more of a people pleaser. And then I realized that I figuratively and literally had to become my daughter's voice. I have to speak for her. I have to advocate for services. I have to do everything. And so that's actually helped me find my own voice for myself. So it's this beautiful journey of growth. And I don't believe I would have had the strength to want to put myself first if I had 2 normal kids. And so the biggest lesson is really finding out who I am as a person and what I need to be Nicole first, to be happy. And then the more I learn about who I am and the happier I become, then I'm a better parent. My children feed off my energy. So when I'm healthier and I'm happier, so are they. And so that's been the most beautiful lesson of all.
I love how you completely changed perception of all of it, because I would like people to know, whatever we think it's hard, it can be harder, and we need to be ourselves and to help ourselves first, so that we can help those in need. What's the biggest challenge that you had as a caregiver?
Feelings of guilt and resentment at the beginning. It's because I have 2 kids. So my son is very, very energetic boy who wants just as much attention as his sister, but unfortunately his sister gets more attention. And so that's very hard to reconcile that guilt as a mother. Most parents, everything is equal amongst the children, and that's just not the case. And then also, I do get frustrated. I don't get mad at Summer. I've learned, I have a positive mantra where I'm like, it's not her fault. It's not her fault. But I still get frustrated with her behavior. And then afterwards you feel guilty. So it's really choosing to tell myself, love, grace, you're doing the best you can. You're doing the best you can. And that changes every year. My best becomes a little better, thankfully. As long as I'm moving in the right direction, I'm okay.
I admire your strength, really. So how you do help caregivers?
Well, what I do when I work with them is I meet them where they're at. And I think that is so important. I remember where I was at the very beginning of Summer's diagnosis and when she was really young. And so when I meet with people, I create a safe space. I say there is no judgment, there is no right or wrong, and there are no comparisons when it comes to your self-care journey. And then I find, you just feel their shoulders drop. And then I just speak with them about what's important to them, because the quicker that they can find that one activity that finds them joy, that they can actually do and implement that quickly, then that builds a little momentum and it gives them hope. And that's what it's all about, is just moving them a little at the beginning from feeling stressed and overwhelmed to giving them a little bit of hope that it can get better. And it does get better.
It does get better. And the most beautiful thing is that you actually became a coach, and your coaching is based not just on everything you learn, but your own experience.
Yes.
And you can much easily connect with caregivers and understand them. And I believe that's the huge value of the services that you are providing. I know this is a sensitive subject, but we will try to bring in some fun, because this is expert fun with Catherine. So they can have a little fun while watching this also. I know it can be hard sometimes, but I will now ask you quick questions. That's how I call them. And we will play a little game. You have like 10 seconds or a sentence to answer to me, and you will hear a ring bell when it's up. It's something, it's something like this. Okay. Cool. Okay, so are you ready?
Yes.
Always.
Okay. Yes, that's very true.
Always. So the first question is, tell us 3 tips for caregivers, what they can do when they feel overwhelmed.
Take 5 deep breaths. Grab your child and hug them tightly. And go look in the mirror and tell yourself how amazing you are.
It's so beautiful.
Those are 3 things I do.
I'm going to do that regardless. I'm not in that situation, but now when you said that, it just warmed my heart, and sometimes my son makes me go crazy. so this is going to help me too. Okay, the second one is, what a caregiver can do when it looks like it's just too hard.
Remind themselves that they've gotten this far and that they've survived.
That's so beautiful. I really love how you present that. And the third one is that I would like you to tell them a message of encouragement from your own experience.
You may feel isolated, but you are never alone. For me, it's about community. And the beautiful thing about this podcast and social media and the internet is that search for something, become a part of a community, and that will help you as well.
It's so beautiful. Amazing. Please tell us where people can find you and how they can get in contact with you.
Yeah, so my website is NicoleDauz.com. And I'm both on LinkedIn and Instagram at Nicole Dauz.
Thank you so much for being my guest.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thanks for having me, Catherine.
My pleasure. Bye.
Bye.